Hi guys, in this video I cover the switch statement. I start out with an example that uses an if condition and I convert that if condition to a switch statement. I also explain when we can actually convert an if condition to a switch statement. Then I explain what a switch statement is, what the syntax is for it. I go over the default case, and finally I explain the break statement and also what fall through means in terms of cases. Let's start out with an example. Let's say I want to check if a value is 1, 2, 3, or anything else. So I use the scanner class to read this value in from system.in. I import this. I have a prompt where people can enter something. Now I use a variable value and I use a scanner to read in that value. Now I want to check if the value is 1, and here I just use simple statements. You entered 1. I copy this for later. Else if val is 2, I output you entered 2. And then else if val is 3, I output you entered 3. And I have an else block here. You entered anything other than 1, 2, or 3. So this is my if condition. When we have if conditions that do not use the less than or greater than operators, that simply check for specific values such as equal to 1, equal to 2, equal to 3, we can use a switch statement. Now if we had something that checks if 1 is less than or greater to, then we cannot really convert it. We want to check for specific values. Then we can use a switch statement instead. Now let's convert this to a switch statement. So this one here is my if statement block, and here I write the switch statement below. Now the switch statement starts with the switch keyword followed in parentheses, and then I pass in the variable that I want to check, and I have a code block. So it's kind of like a if here, a condition, and then a code block. But I don't write a condition. I really just have a single value that I want to check. And then I want to check that value for specific cases. And the cases are my constants that I'm checking here. The constant literals in this case, 1, 2, or 3. So I can say case 1, case 2, case 3. And the else part, there's a default case. If none of them matches, I have a default case. So this is kind of what it looks like. There's a colon, so the case 1 is not a statement. It's really just a case. And if that case applies, I can here write many statements, basically the statements that I have in that block. So here I have a single statement. So I put this in this case. When value matches the case 1, and case 1 is the value up here. So when it matches 1, I output you entered 1. If it matches 2, output 2. If it matches 3, I output you entered 3. And if it's anything else, it's my default block. So this is by default. I execute this. If none of the other cases apply, I output this. Now let's run this for a moment and see what we get. Now first I enter something invalid. I enter 5. So 5 looks good. We get this twice. Once from the if block, once from the switch block. And let's actually write something here. Just write switch, so we know this is for the switch block. Let's enter case 2. Now here for the if we got you entered 2. for the switch, we got you entered 2, you entered 3, and you entered anything else. What happened here? Now what happened is that switch cases, the cases inside switch statements, have fall through. So each case is simply a door to enter the switch statement. And once we are inside, we are inside. We don't have to check anything else. We're already in. So it checked the value here to 1, we cannot get in. Check 2, now we can get in, now we're inside, so we keep executing. We execute this, we fall through to the next statement, and we fall through to the default. Now this one we have to be aware of, because if we don't know, something like this happens. It just enters and falls through, even though val didn't match 3 in this case, and it didn't really match the default since we had 2. What we want to use here is the break statement. So break means we break out of the statement. And when we put this after each statement here, when we run this again, and we enter 2 again, now we get the right case. We get it here, we get it here. So we matched case 2, entered, and then we broke out. Now one nice thing about switch statements is that we can have it. Sometimes we can have the break statements, sometimes we don't. For example, here we have it, but then here we don't have it. Here we don't have it, and here we have it. So if it's 1, I just fall through and execute the statements under case 2 as well, and then I break out. So we can have it if we want to, and if we don't want to, we don't have to have it. It's not that we have to have break for every case, or we don't have it. We can mix and match. The other thing that is nice is for an if-else statement, the else statement is the last part that we have. For a switch statement, the default case can be anywhere. I can put it here, for example, in the middle. I can put it as a first case. And it's still, even if I have it as a first case, nothing changes. If I enter 2, it's still only enter 2. The difference is I can put it, for example, like this. Let's say you entered anything other than, and here I just output 1, 2, 3. Let's say we have something like this. Now I run this and I output 4. Now for the switch statement, I put you entered anything other than 1. If I were to remove these ones as well, it will fall through all the way to all these cases. So if I run this one more time, 4 did not match. It would check 1, 2, and 3. Did not match. Goes to the default. And here it outputs you entered anything other than 1, 2, 3. Now, if I put something, one of these cases, it would go to the case and not add the default. One last thing, here I have cases 1, 2, and 3. They just happen to be 1, 2, and 3. If I were to check, let's say, 5, 8, and 30, then I would write here 5, 8, and 30. So these are just integer values. They're not cases that are ordered from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So these are just integer values that I'm checking. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please check out my other video on switch statements where I use characters to check the cases. Thank you for watching.